Hey, I'm Chantal. I'm a 21-year-old artist that decided to open her own little art studio to be inspired to create more art. And this is my first oil painting solo exhibition. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new day. Today I am varnishing all my paintings. I'm scared, I'm nervous. But I have watched lots of tutorials on how to varnish a painting properly on YouTube, like Andrew Tischler, and I feel like I'm confident now. Before I can do that though, I have to gesso the boards of my masonite paintings again, just so that they're proper, and then we can get to varnishing these paintings. I have no idea how long it's gonna take. I do have plans this afternoon, but I thought I would let you know we're varnishing the paintings. Scary. Also, I know you only need one very thin coat over your painting if you're using Gambar, and I got the matte, of course, because I don't like gloss, but I don't know if this is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 paintings. Is this enough? Probably not. Probably not, yeah. We'll see. I can always order some more, but I wanted to varnish them all in one go. We will see, guys. I feel like it is because I feel like it might be because I did varnish a huge painting with just that amount. I don't know, but without further ado, let's get rolling. Hello guys, Future Chantal here, and I would just like to preface by saying that this oil painting collection was done in December of 2022. Well, the actual series was painted between August and December, and yes, I know it's taken me a really long time to edit this video together. Currently, at the moment, I don't paint any oil paintings at all. I actually just decided to do full-time watercolour, but I thought I would put out this video anyway because I think it's all part of the journey, and although I'm not painting any oils at the moment, in order to get to the stage where I have found peace and I love my current art style, I had to go through painting this series of oil pieces. The biggest lesson I learned when first undertaking my oil pieces and varnishing them and framing them is that you should never ever pour your varnish straight onto the canvas, or in this case onto the wood that I'm working on. It is so easy to get an uneven surface when you're pouring the varnish straight on, and I see so many people on TikTok pour their varnish straight onto the canvas and they're left with some areas are glossy and some areas are have no varnish on them. So guys, always use your brush and dip it into the varnish a little bit, and you have to work that varnish into the canvas. Really kind of push it into the surface, and it's not like a thick layer, it's just a protective layer, so when dust or any impurities get on the canvas, you can take them off. After varnishing, the next part in the journey was taking high resolution photos of my work to make prints or digital files, and just to have them as a backup if anything ever happened to the artwork. Now, here's something that I learned. I actually had a friend come in and take really high professional photos with her camera, after which I've now actually discovered that my own camera, when I shoot in RAW, takes really good quality photos. And by taking multiple photos of the same artwork in different sections and stitching them together in Microsoft Composite, I can actually get one of the highest resolution photos ever. However, it's taken me a bit of work to get there. Morning guys, today is a new day, and today I am framing all my pieces. Or so I thought, because I went to Mitre 10 this morning and I got my little pieces of plywood and I got my PVA glue to frame my 2 biggest pieces. Now, I read the instructions and I watched lots of tutorials, but did I remember that you need to clamp it down? No. Do I have clamps? No. So now I can't frame my two biggest pieces because you need to glue these on and clamp them. I don't have clamps, so... However, I really do want to do some framing today, so I've decided that I'm going to frame all my pieces except for the two big ones. And maybe it's the universe just telling me that I shouldn't frame 10 pieces of art in one day. So let's go. The third part in this journey after varnishing and photographing was framing all my pieces, and oh boy, did I underestimate the amount of work framing would be. I've never put my artwork into floating frames before. As I've only worked in watercolour, you pop them into a glass frame. But I had ordered these canvases and frames together, so they were perfectly matched up, which was so good, and it was really quite easy to assemble them together. It just took a bit of work to figure out the spacing. You have to have the sides all even so that the canvas sits really nicely in the middle, and I just grabbed some pieces of cardboard that I had lying around from my calendar packaging. I just popped about 5 sheets in each side. Found this was the easiest way to screw the painting together because I had gravity working with me and the painting was like going down to the floor, so I was able to have it flushed to the surface, if that makes sense. And there she is. Oh, I love this painting. Anyway, this painting's for sale still, guys, if anybody would like it. Oh, I love it so much. I've just finished framing all my pieces for my solo exhibition, well, except for my 2 largest ones, which I have to clamp tomorrow with glue so that they actually fit flushed in the frame. But I thought I would show you all of them framed because they look really good. This is the first one. Before we begin with this next segment of absolutely everything that could go wrong, I just want to say that I now find this absolutely hilarious, and please enjoy for your own entertainment. You guys will not believe what I just did. And I wasn't going to share this at all, but if I don't share this, I'm not being real. I'm not being real. Learn from my mistakes. I just had my beautifully framed pieces sitting next to my desk, beautifully varnished, beautifully framed. They were beautifully even cover of varnish. They looked so freaking good, man, as you saw. And I started a new piece. And I was going heavy with the fucking first wash. And it literally sprayed all over my painting. Don't have your framed pieces next to where you're painting. Don't do that. This color was it was over the first third of my paintings. Yeah. Just like little speckles everywhere, and I was just like, my heart has never dropped so low, and my stomach has never lurched so bad. Like I wanted to throw up. Like, these pieces have taken me so long to create and so much energy, and I spent so much time varnishing them. And what I did is that I had to unframe them. And then I don't have Gamsol. I don't have Gamsol to take off the varnish, which I was like, oh my God, thank God they were varnished. Because I just got this one, my odorless solvent, and a little clean cloth, and I got it all off. I got all the speckles, the constellation droplets of aqua colour off my portrait piece, and I've re-varnished her. I can't notice the difference. I'm back. Hey guys, I just finished framing all my pieces and I think a grand tour of them all is in order. So let's start at the beginning. So this is number one. This was my first piece, my first big oil painting. It took me around 3 months to paint and it is my most requested painting to buy. However, it's not for sale because I have such an emotional attachment to it. It took me a long time. So yeah, this is it. This one was my second piece of work and it also was my first work on a piece of masonite. This was my second piece of work on masonite board. It was actually the other half of the masonite board that I thought I would paint on, and I experimented a lot with this piece. So after doing those two big works, I decided to do something small, and this is also the first time I painted a person in a landscape. This little baby one. And now we have my ocean swimmer piece that I did, and I painted these three pieces next. This one, the one I painted after that is the one with the two people. And then I painted my portrait piece, which honestly was the most complex piece for me. So I get asked a lot about making prints from your artwork, and there's two different ways that you can go about making prints, and that is getting them printed by just a printer on a matte cardstock. It's very, very affordable. However, in about 10 or 20 years, depending on where you put your artwork in the house and the sunlight and the ventilation, the colours will fade quite quickly. The other option is doing high quality glisse prints, which are a lot more expensive, but they last usually over 100 years. The colors will last, and they just highlight your work in such a professional manner. They are just going to replicate your work nearly exactly to the original, depending on how you photographed it or how you edited it. The thing is, with glisse prints, they are actually not inks but pigments that are sprayed onto an archival paper. So that is why they're going to last a really long time, and they honestly feel like the painting itself. And it's what I do for all my oil paintings here. I just got test runs, and then I also do it with my watercolour paintings, which honestly, it just makes the print look like a painting. Finally, we get onto one of the most exciting stages, which is the curation part. And it is also the most difficult because everything needs to flow, everything needs to be balanced. I also had a specific order I wanted the artworks to go in because they told a little story, and I wanted to put them in the rough order that I painted them in so you could see my progress. However, this wall on the left doesn't have any special hooks, so I just had to hang them up where the hooks were drilled into the wall, which was a little bit difficult because my artworks are various sizes. But do you know what? I actually got there, and I actually did just hang up the little special hooks. I don't know the name for them, but just on the top shelf on the wall, you can kind of see them there. And I kind of did my best to color match as well. Hey guys, I've just spent the last couple hours, don't look at the mess, putting up my exhibition pieces on the wall and rearranging the art in my gallery, which is not as easy as you might think, because you need the right pieces, the right subject matter, and the right color for it all to flow, which is a lot more difficult than anyone might think, you know. I just have to clean up my entire gallery space because everything is a complete mess. As you can see, I need to put the labels up on the wall and vacuum and just clean, and then I'm gonna head home. Nope, I'm gonna show you my exhibition pieces on the wall, and then I'm gonna go home. It is the opening day today. I still have so much to do, so I'm probably gonna time lapse all of this crap. All of this stuff. I'm probably going to time lapse everything because I have a lot to do. First of all, I need to clean everything and set everything up. Although I didn't have a lot of people come and it was mostly just friends and family, I found that this entire process of putting on my exhibition so valuable for myself as an artist, and just like understanding, I don't know, how to curate and how to manage my art and how to figure out what I like, what I don't like, what works, what doesn't work. And I actually had so many people. For context, I live on a very small island, and I actually had so many people said that they would come, they would rock up. So many people that I met through like the markets, and very few of them actually rocked up. I don't know, I think maybe it's not as special. Like if you're just an independent artist putting on an exhibition, it's so different if you would be supported by someone else or if you were living in a city. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching my video. It really means a lot to me that you stayed this far into the end, and I never gave you guys a verdict of how the exhibition went. So I've actually sold the two smaller paintings, the Sunset Runner and the Pools. And since then, this year I've painted another 4 paintings of that size, and they're all around 600, 650, and I actually have sold them all. So that is like really interesting to me to find out that that's the size that people like and people buy. And I feel like every artist has that particular size and price that they sell the most of, and that's mine for me, as I found out. Also, all my big paintings are still for sale, so if you saw one that took your fancy, send me an email. I would love to see them all go to new homes and not just be in my gallery. So they are all priced between $800 and $1,500, which I think is very reasonable for a really big painting, and also the time it took me to to paint them. So shoot me an email for any inquiries and I would love to answer them. Also, if you have been following me in real time on my Instagram, you probably know that I'm no longer painting in oil and I've decided to do watercolor full time. I know that might come as a surprise after watching this video, but watercolor speaks to me way more authentically than any other medium, and I just love painting in watercolor. It's what I want to give as an artist. It's my style, and I think it just speaks to me way more than any other medium. So I have decided to do watercolor full time, and I also think that I can portray my voice better with watercolor and what I want to say. So get keen for some really cool, exciting big watercolor pieces. if you want to see them in real time and see how they come into fruition, as well as the making of my 2024 calendar, you can go and follow my Instagram. It's really exciting stuff happening over there, as it takes me a long time to edit these videos. So that is all I have to say. Next week's video is also really, really exciting because I will be sharing the story of why and how I opened up my own art gallery. So don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, love you. I'd just like to thank everybody so much for coming to the opening of my exhibition. It really means a lot to me to don't stand in the middle. Sorry. Really means a lot to me that you show my support to my art, whether you've been following me the whole past year, halfway through the year, or just like recently. It really means a lot, and I really appreciate you coming to the opening of my exhibition as well. I thought I would talk a little bit about why I created these pieces and the story behind them, because when I first started painting for my exhibition, I had the intention of creating a story that showed your dreams like turning into reality for each one of my pieces. And so I thought I'd take you through each one of my pieces and where they started, what I learned from them, and kind of the meaning and the message behind them that you might not see unless like the artist's perspective tells you behind them. So it all actually started with the Pennington Bay painting over there, which was my first painting that I did in, I reckon June, July last year, and it was my first big oil painting work, and it took me quite a long time to paint the rock, which was very detailed. And what I learned during that piece was that sometimes it's not that important to focus on the details or make everything perfect, but to look at the bigger picture. In saying that, I wouldn't have learnt what I did without focusing on the details of the rock or the beauty of the ocean and taking that long time to create it, because it was a piece that did pave the way for the rest of my pieces in this exhibition, and without taking so much time on that one, I wouldn't have painted all the others. And then after that one, I went out to Remarkable Rocks and did some plein air painting with watercolour, and I saw people, the tourists come and go from the rocks, and to me, taking a photo of them didn't capture like the energy that is out there. And so when I came back to the studio, I really wanted to paint like remarkable rocks that you wouldn't be able to capture from a photograph. The oranges, the reds, the yellows, that moment in time that you see all the colours and you can't replicate with a photo. And I really wanted to, I guess, inspire people to, be more grateful and appreciative of the smallest moments in life that often go unnoticed. And then my second one after that one was the West Bay painting above, and that one was actually painted from a photograph by Benjamin Good, and that was a piece that challenged me a lot, as I had to really trust the process. It was a piece that started with just brown everywhere, and when I got almost just an hour into it, I wanted to give up immediately because it looked horrible, looked disgusting. I'm like, Chantal, this is never going to work out. And I'm really glad that I pushed through that blockage, or that art blockage, because I think it became one of my most favourite pieces in this exhibition. I wanted to capture the feeling of, I guess, wonder that we have when we go to those isolated places, especially that we feel, especially out at West Bay. And then the one after West Bay was my little sunset runner, and I had never painted any people before in my paintings, so it was a huge jump outside my comfort zone, and I did a lot of anatomy work prior to painting that girl because I wanted to paint her without a reference photo, which was difficult. And during painting that piece, I wanted to capture, I guess, the feeling we have chasing a sunset, and also the feeling we want to hold on to when the sunset happens, which is that small window in time that we have. Then after my sunset runner was actually the one over there. It's called Where the World Goes Quiet, and I wanted to push myself further and paint people I guess bigger. And during painting this piece, I really wanted to show, I guess, the feelings that we have we're in nature, and also I guess being appreciative of that moment, knowing that it's not going to last forever. Like, we can't spend our entire time under the beautiful ocean, and it's going to, I guess, come to an end, and being appreciative of that time we have there in that moment. After that one, I painted my peony painting, which is called The Connection, and I think every single person that's looked at that piece that thought it's like a romance piece, which it's not. It's actually the depiction of like reality and your dreams and the connection that occurs when that happens, which one person represents reality and the other one represents, I guess, your dreams. And the moment when everything falls into place is what I really wanted to capture in that painting, and the feeling of that. And then after that painting was my last one, which is the portrait piece, and which was my first big portrait painting in oil. My first one is up here, which is, don't look at it, sadly. It's not. And I really wanted to capture the feeling that we have when we envision our goals and clarify them. And the butterflies really represented the letting go and releasing of our creativity into the world. So yeah, that's the entire collection. And this one as well is one of my last pieces that kind of encapsulates the feeling of all those things, and also was one of the pieces this summer pools that I wanted to explore a lot of depth in the painting, which I think you can see in the layers of the work. Yeah, that's all of them. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for explaining more. You know, we even got more meaning.